Captain Crunch is by far the most like George W. Bush of the cereal box
Right.
people. Like just evil but charming in a way that like you forget that this is like he paints. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And you
exactly.
forget. And you've murdered people.
Right.
You've sliced little children's mouths open.
I don't trust him.
Little
I don't
brown
trust him.
babies have bled to death over a morning bowl of cereal because of your evil, Captain Crunch. And
And
meanwhile,
they go back the next day.
he feels nothing.
Nope.
The devil.
Oops all my ass.
yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Oops, you're dead.
The government growing babies. Microchips in your anus. All koala bears are racist. The ozone layer owes me money. Martians invented turkey stuffing. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Yeah. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an unbelievable episode of My Mama Told Me, where we dive deep into the world of Black conspiracies. We might finally answer the question, who stole Whoopi Goldberg's eyebrows? We don't know. We're going to find out, and we are going to dig deep. I'm doing well. I'm excited. I'm your host, Langston Kerman. I'm so happy that you're here listening to us, and I'm even more excited that we are joined today by a dear friend, one of my favorite people in comedy. She's so funny. You've seen her on Two Dope Queens on HBO. You've seen her on The New Negroes on Comedy Central. She has 2 amazing albums on Spotify and Apple Music and all the other places that you download things. Give it up for Shalewa Sharp, everybody. Yeah. That's everybody.
Oh,
Welcome.
wow. That is a big place you got there. with
Yeah.
All those people.
You would think we're not in quarantine.
I know.
All these people I have in my home coughing in my mouth.
Yeah, that's so sweet.
Yeah,
How you doing, Langston?
I'm doing okay. Yeah,
That's good.
I'm happy you're here. I was just saying that this is reaching that weird part of quarantine where no one else is doing it. And so I feel as if that's driving me a little crazy. But how are you? How are you handling?
Oh, I'm fine. I've really kind of moved into my staring at people out the window years a lot sooner than I thought I would. I didn't see that for me for another like 20 years, but
Sure.
I'm strongly there now, and I am quietly yelling at people who walk by with no masks on.
Okay, you say you're yelling. Are you actually saying stuff, or is it more just being irate in your brain?
I'm furious in my brain.
Sure.
But the most that I can do, like sonically, is just a and hope that no one can place what window that noise
Sure.
came from.
I was about to
Yeah.
say, anytime an older Black woman does that sound, you know it's a bad thing. You're not confused that this isn't judgmental. It's just, can you place which window this judgment
Yeah,
is
where
coming
did this
from?
come from? Yeah, so I definitely have seen some reaction of just like let me get a pep in my step and move it along because someone has seen my full face now.
Yes.
But it's just me and the cat judging people outside my window. It's not bad.
I got you. Are you staying indoors? Are you completely locked in, or are you venturing out into the world?
I have to venture out for my job,
Mm.
which is, I mean, it's fine. I don't really run into anyone at my job, and I've been, taking cars there. But
Right.
even that is like
Sure.
getting into someone's car and just rolling down the windows immediately. and
Right.
just sticking my head out like a dog.
I really thought that the apocalypse was going to be more like I Am Legend. Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like, I think there was a part of me, and I'm sure we all felt this way, where it was like, oh man, we're going to have guns and be running from zombies. It's going to be wild. But it's just like, no, sometimes I got to call an Uber and ask the Uber driver to put his mask back on.
Yeah,
That's-
I thought we would be stepping over bodies like while
Yeah.
carrying heavy sticks, and instead I'm just annoyed that my Lyft driver missed the exit. And I'm like,
Right.
this isn't how I thought it was going to go.
Day 23. out of Raisinets. Gonna venture outside and see if I can get some more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a
it's
lot of what I'm doing.
I
So,
got you. Well,
hmm
I don't want to dig too much further into either of our depression. I'm excited today because the podcast is My Mama Told Me. It's all
hmm
about Black conspiracy theories. You are a
hmm
person who I know subscribes to Black conspiracy theories and conspiracy theories of all natures. And so I am really excited. You sent us a topic that I think is unbelievably engaging, that I'm so excited to talk about. You said, My Mama Told Me.
The chips in black neighborhoods have more sauce on them than the ones in the white neighborhoods.
Yes, I came upon this realization when I was in a Family Dollar,
Mm-hmm.
the neighborhood that I lived in when I was still in Atlanta. It was right around the historically black colleges. I lived over there. I
Which
went to a
are,
Family Dollar.
just for
Spelman,
clarity, are known bad neighborhoods.
your Morehouse, yes.
Yeah.
Your other ones that I believe have been lost their accreditation. Anywho, um,
Some of them aren't technically universities anymore.
right. But I mean, the bands are good. But I lived over there. I lived near a grocery store that was also called a city center. So,
Mm-hmm.
it was one of those large grocery stores that had all kinds of things. And then in the front row, just beyond the registers, there were like a few wig shops or jewelry places,
I love
things.
I love the idea that a accredited university is just surrounded by wig shops. Just as
Yeah.
far as the eye can see. It's just elite education
hmm
and Nicki Minaj wigs wherever you look. Oh, that's
It's
great.
so, oh my goodness. I miss it. I miss it a lot. I miss being
Hmm.
over there. But I was in a Family Dollar picking up some odds and ends, your cocoa butter,
Hmm.
a dish towel, things like that. And
Yep.
I happen to have just the things you need.
A
Um,
perfect grocery list. Cocoa butter and
yes.
dish towel.
I also had some chips, some Pringles,
Okay.
some sour cream and onion Pringles.
Hmm.
As the young lady behind the cash register was ringing me up, she booped the Pringles, and then she looked at me just very earnestly, and she said, "You know what? I feel like I love these chips, but I feel like when you get them like from here, they got more sauce on them. You know what I mean?"
So she knew.
She knew.
She
She
knew she was
knew.
telling you poison.
And yeah, and she was like, I mean, I like these chips, but I really like to get them from here because they got more sauce on them.
Mm.
I said, you are absolutely right, because I realize the reason I'm picking them up from here is because of the extra sauce. Now that I think about it, yeah.
You're referring to it as sauce. I think that
hmm
for me has been a jarring way of
It
referring to it. If
Oh,
you're
it definitely took me. I
okay,
was like sauce, but I also knew where I was, and I felt
right.
like I'm in Atlanta. I'm in her Family Dollar. Let me go on and
This
use
is
the
the time to
correct.
dig into semantics. Let's focus on
Mm-mm,
the conversation.
no, if sauce is the lexicon, sauce is what I'm gonna say.
Hell yeah.
And so I said, yeah, you're absolutely right. There is more sauce in a Family Dollar Pringle than at, say, a Publix.
Okay.
Or,
All right. Let me dig further into this because number one, I believe you. Let's start that way. I 100% I'm convinced that what you're saying is
hmm
absolutely true.
Right.
Did you ever buy multiple Pringles and compare? Have you ever held them up to the light to see if one is, the light penetrates and the other one doesn't? Like, how do you know?
Well, I have. I did do something of a taste test.
This is a sad confession and I love it.
It is. It is very sad. But I mean, you're talking to someone that when I got a box of Pop Tarts that I really liked, that they were well done, I marked the lot number so that I knew to look for that lot number the next time I went to the grocery store. Do you
Wait.
understand? Do you see what I mean?
So you're under the impression that like there's just like certain chefs at the Pop-Tart company.
Yes.
They're like,
Yes.
oh, Bernice hooked these Pop-Tarts up.
Yeah,
He was acting a fool today.
you have to know which grocery stores are putting a foot in your waffles. Do you know what I
Wow.
mean?
Yeah.
So I pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
After the sauce comment, I was like, I wonder if she made that up and I'm just co-signing, or if that's something I felt in my soul already.
Mhm.
Let me run over to Publix and get a canister, and let me just see if this is truly the case. And it was the case. It's nothing you can see because Pringles is kind of smart in how they disperse it.
Sure. That's the trick, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they get you.
That's how they get you, because they they don't want to just, if you put too much on it all at once in the middle, you're like, this chip is poison. You're trying to take me out, white devil. But if they spread it out evenly across the whole of the chip, you're just like a lovely, different, more exciting treat.
It's a great chip. I mean, why would I question it? Yeah, it's so I did taste, and it definitely was saltier on the Family Dollar side. And that
Yeah.
and that's important to note because I was trying out chips that can be found in both locations. Do you know what I
Yes,
mean? In
right.
white neighborhoods and black neighborhoods, because as we all know, there are chips that never make it to the white neighborhoods.
And I think that that's super important. There are a bunch of chips that never make it to the white neighborhood, and vice versa. There are tons of chips that you never will see in a black neighborhood. Pitos, I've never seen a goddamn Pitos in any urban setting. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like we're not making chip. I went to a friend's house once, and they had a bowl full of chips made of cricket. Like the chips were made of the bodies of dead crickets, and they had compressed them into chip. And of course I ate it because I don't know humility.
You lost the dare? Why would you?
No, I live a lavish life, and I'm not going to let
Uh-huh.
myself be sold short by my own fears. But
Oh,
I will
wow.
say that that is not available in any urban settings that I've seen thus far.
No. Black people are not knowingly eating crickets.
No, not at all, except
Not
for
at
me.
all.
And that's because I'm a
Yeah.
sellout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh
I
yeah,
wouldn't-
Hans just sent this to me. It's called Chirps Cricket Protein Chips Variety Pack. It literally says Chirps Eat Bugs is the
And that's the thing, is that I'm painting with the broadest of strokes here.
Mhm.
But I can't think of a time that I've been in a black neighborhood and in their chip section there was just like the protein ones.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? If there are protein-based
Yeah.
chips, someone has moved in.
We don't specify
don't-
chips based off of what they offer to your body.
No.
Chips is
It's
for your tongue.
it's for your tongue. It's the lickability fat. What color are your fingers
Right.
afterwards?
Are
That's-
these orange chips or are these red chips?
Right, exactly.
Am
It's
I
like
going
a-
to stain my shirt orange or blue? Which one are we doing today?
it's the color of the bag.
Mhm.
Like, what kind of Doritos do you want? Oh, I want red.
Yes.
Okay, those are just your basic nacho cheese.
Absolutely.
Oh, I want blue, which we all know is the Cool Ranch. And you know me and my history with Cool Ranch.
Of course. But please tell our listeners just
So
some of them are idiots and they don't know all
yeah,
this
they don't
stuff.
know. They don't know their history. But when I was like 12 years old, I was in a focus group for Cool Ranch Doritos.
Okay.
So Cool Ranch weren't made yet. They were testing them out on small minds and bodies.
Holy shit.
And my mother was real big on the focus group circuit.
Mm-hmm.
You
Sure.
know,
she was
everyone-
a star in the circuit. And
Yeah,
you were
you
living in a
know.
world pre-Cool Ranch.
Yes.
What is it? Before Christ, before Cool Ranch. I get it.
It was yeah, and so there were like 5 or 6 of us, and they had them unlabeled just in a bowl, and we're just eating them.
Mhm.
And then they're like, "Well, what do you think?" And we're like, "All right, it seems fine. It's got a little zing, I guess." But yeah, I'd continue to eat this because you've put it in front of me, and I'm a 12-year-old.
Sure.
So, it's a chip. I'm gonna eat it.
I think like many chips, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
Mostly
right.
because I'm not allowed to have them constantly in every other
Right,
part of my life.
exactly. We all got a bowl of it. We absolutely love it. And they gave us like $40 and they were like, thanks.
Yeah.
And about 3 months later, I saw it on the
On the
shelf
shelves.
and I was like, hey, those were the chips
Yeah.
that they made us eat that I got money for.
And everybody was like, shut the fuck up, Shalala.
Yeah,
No one
shut up.
cares about your focus group.
My dad was a little jealous because when my mother, the last focus group my mom had done before that was for like Tussie deodorant. So
Oh.
we were stuck with Tussie deodorant for like a year. It's
I've never
not
even
good.
heard of Tussie.
Yeah, precisely. That
Okay.
focus group was way off.
I was worried that it was like a hot deodorant that I'm unaware of.
No,
I've
it's
recently
not.
had to switch to a natural deodorant because I get like boils if I
Oh, interesting. How's
Yeah.
that working for you? I literally was having that discussion with my roommate the other night about
natural deodorants for me personally have been
mhm.
ineffective, but I am not having to go to the emergency room. So I
So
stink, but there's no pus coming out of me. So
that's really all you
trade-offs.
can ask for.
Yeah.
That's really all you. I've been in this lockdown time, these COVIDian times. I just haven't been wearing deodorant. And
Bold choice. I'm
yeah,
listening.
it's been fine. I think we probably should check with my roommate on
Sure.
that. But, but
He doesn't make
also,
eye contact with me
he's
anymore,
not.
but I think
Yeah,
we're fine.
we don't speak. We mostly text. But yeah, now that it's warm, I'm realizing my body was being real chill,
Mhm.
and now it's like, oh, we gotta
Yeah.
you smell.
We need
It's
something.
fine. We need
Yeah.
something. So I don't know. I had been just rubbing like lotion on there, just like that ought
Okay.
to do it.
It will not.
It will
But
not do it.
but
It
I
will not
will
do it
say
at all.
that ultimately all the bullshit that they put into regular deodorants is
Mhm.
bad for you. So there probably is a compromise between saying fuck it and poisoning your body with aluminum. That's just
Yeah.
my pitch. I'm sure your
No.
roommate has some other thoughts, but
I'm
just
sure he does, but probably I don't want to boil. Who wants to boil?
oh, it's painful.
Yeah.
I had to cry in front of my wife in an emergency room while a lady stabbed me in the armpit to drain things out of me that I never thought belonged there. And no one else did either. It was a consensus. That didn't belong in my body.
No, that shouldn't have. What color was the pus?
Whitish, yellowish.
Okay.
It
Yeah,
wasn't,
that's
I
good.
think, infected. I mean, it
It was
was
just
infected, but it
fe-
wasn't like like a dangerous infection, if that
right,
makes
right.
sense.
Yeah. I've
This
been
podcast is really taking a
really
turn.
taking a turn. Really, it
Mhm.
really is. Yes, yes. Yeah.
Just talking about the color of our pus and
I mean, but it's a natural question.
sure. Speaking of color, I will say
Mhm.
you brought up an excellent point about Doritos and chips and the
Mhm.
color associations that black people
Yes.
make. That
Right.
oftentimes with all flavoring of all kinds, we just sort of say the red ones, the blue ones, red Kool-Aid, blue Kool-Aid,
Right.
fucking,
Yes.
the Capri Sun that has the orange guy on it, or the Capri Sun that has the light blue guy on it.
Right.
We're not
Yeah.
memorizing flavors. I think that's a very white thing, flavors.
I think so because it's basically the same flavors kind of just rearranged a
Mhm.
little bit. And maybe they just throw in another dash of something else and then change the bag purple or
Right.
something.
It's
Um,
like there's no
yeah.
difference between tropical and Baja. It's
Mm-mm.
just one is pineapple, peach, and orange, and then the other one is peach, pineapple, orange, and cherry. And it's like that's a no,
That's all it
motherfucker. I
is.
know that's the same
hmm
shit. You just added a little something on the back end.
Yeah, I once went to a soul food restaurant where, they just kind of built your plate as you slid down and then you got it at the end.
Yeah.
And so the drink selections were behind them, and I'm squinting past this woman trying to see. I saw that something was like a high C
Mhm.
flavored, so I was trying to see if we were working with like a pink lemonade
Mhm.
or a regular, like what was going on. And the woman saw me kind of squinting, and she was just like, "It's red, baby, it's red." And I said, "Then I'll take a large." That's all I needed. That's all I needed to know.
Ma'am, you are speaking my language.
That's all I want. Is
Pour
it red or
me a
pink?
tall red, please.
Tall red. Extra large red.
I'll have
please.
a venti red if you don't mind. I love my
Yeah.
red venti. Well, okay, so you brought up something really fascinating when you were telling the story of your discovery. And one of the
Mhm.
things that I think I took in reading what you sent, or at least I thought I was hearing, but maybe this is a completely different direction.
Uh-huh.
When she told you that there was more sauce on these chips, she
Right.
wasn't saying it in a threatening way.
No.
Like this
No.
wasn't her being like, and this is how they
So that's how they get you.
that's how they get you. It was more of her being
she was
like,
this is a cheat code.
hell yeah.
This is the cheat code. Get them here because this is where the sauce is.
See all them white devils, they eating
Yeah,
it
you can-
flavorless.
Yeah, you can fuck around with Kroger if you want to, but we know, you and we know where the sauce is.
Not
It's
enough
right
spices on them chips.
Not-
You
not
got to
enough
get them
spices.
here.
Here. Right. And I mean, it made perfect sense. And I realized subconsciously that's what I was doing, was
Mhm.
getting them there because of that. Because, in Black neighborhoods, that's also where you find a broader variety of snack cakes. I mean,
Yeah.
they're for sure trying to kill us.
Mhm.
But the variety, I
Sure.
mean, the various ways they're trying to kill us must be noted.
If you're gonna murder me, give me all the options.
Give me choices.
Put out
I
a
don't-
mallet, put out a gun, put out
Yes.
an alligator. Give
Yeah,
me
put
all the
out,
options of how I could die so I can then make a sound decision from
Yes,
that
let
point.
me. You know what? If I want to die via oatmeal cream pie, let me do it.
Hell yeah.
Let me do it. And
Is that how you want to go? Oatmeal cream pie?
I
If you had a
maybe-
preferred food to give you your ultimate diabetes and or high blood pressure,
well,
which one do you want to take you out?
There is the Little Debbie Star Crunch snack cake.
Fuck
That
yeah.
was the last snack cake I ate before I had to be rushed to the emergency room where I discovered I had gallstones.
Holy shit.
And then discovered that my gallbladder had actually kind of exploded and there were stones
Whoa.
all throughout my body. And they thought they were just going to take out a few stones and they had to cut me open. And I have like a 6.5-inch scar. So the last thing I ate before that was a Star Crunch. And I thought I'd never eat them again. And I had one yesterday. So
You're a literal Little Debbie survivor.
yes, I am.
You're like you could have been a hero story. You could have taken
Mhm.
down Little Debbie and proved that they were like a destroyer in our community, and you're like,
Yep.
nah, but that's Star Crunch,
Star
bro.
Crunch. Yeah, I mean, it's real good.
Too damn good. How did they get it in that shape? Too good
I
to
know.
me.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
Is that
man.
real rice? I don't know. I don't care.
Who cares?
Who
Put it in my gallbladder, which will eventually
Let it
explode
Yeah.
into stars.
Oh, yeah. It's
All
very
right.
cosmic.
We're gonna take a break, and we'll be back with more My Mama Told Me. And we are back.
I can go anywhere.
Suck my dick.
We are back with we're back with my dear friend Shalewa Sharp, who during the break was saying some stuff about how black people need to just get over everything that's happening. Shalewa, care to expand on any of that?
I mean, come on, y'all.
Shalewa has, as you know, has been telling us all about her theory that the chips have more spice or sauce or seasoning, if you will, on them in certain communities and not in others. And I, Shalewa, have been doing some research. I did some research on your theory that I'd love to just run past you.
Oh,
see
yeah,
if any of
absolutely.
this supports or denies. Let's just see where we land in talking
Okay.
more about some of the things that I've uncovered. Okay.
All right.
Let's start with some basics. So I was doing some research on the size of chips because originally when I saw your theory, I assumed that you were going to be telling about the decrease in size of the bags over the years.
Okay.
Have you heard that conspiracy theory at all?
I am familiar with just how they have gotten smaller, but more in like when your parents start complaining about the portions at grocery stores and how they've raised the prices, but they've taken 2 cookies away.
Right.
In that sense, I am familiar.
Right. So I think I similarly have, like many of us, have noticed it over the years, but there's also a part of you that doesn't want to sound like your dad. When you see it, you don't want to be like an old man being like, I remember when the chips was this big. And it's like, come on, man. Stop this. Don't be this person. But okay, so given that though, there is evidence that the regular Lay's, which are sold in 10-ounce bags, and this is where it gets interesting. Regular Lay's are sold in 10-ounce bag, but flavored Lay's, the ones with sauce and or seasoning, are sold in 9.5-ounce bags, and both are sold at the exact same price.
I have noticed that.
Why do you think that is? What's happening there?
There's no way that seasoning is heavier. I assume that's what they would say if we could ask.
Right.
You know, Captain Lay's or whoever.
Like, all that barbecue we put in there is making it heavy.
Yeah, because that's not. And also there are so many different flavors. So you're telling me that cheddar and sour cream is going to be the same weight as just a plain old barbecue sauce? I mean, there's cheese in there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you can't.
If we're going to start picking apart the seasoning as like a part of the weight distribution, then you have to acknowledge that pork rind seasoning is going to be heavier than Flamin' Hot seasoning.
Yes, right, exactly. Yeah, because Flaming Hot, it's baked in.
Sure.
What's baked in versus being placed on top? There's a lot.
One of those is organically hot. The other one is unnatural.
From the Flaming Hot fields.
Those fields filled with cheetahs for some reason.
Right.
That harness the fire of the Flaming Hot.
Right, exactly.
In doing the research, part of the argument that they made for the reason that the flavored chips are actually sold in smaller portions is that it's more precious with the flavored chips because they are better sellers. Like they're basically saying like these sell way better than the plain chips, so we're going to keep them and be very precious with them and hold them close to our hearts, as opposed to the plain chips, which we will give away at whim and just let anyone do whatever they want with them. But it also feels, like you said, like a little bit of a scam, because why am I paying the same price for this?
Yeah, I mean, yes, they sell better, but why don't give us less of it? Especially, what this is? I mean, it's just racism all over again.
Now you're talking my language.
That's how they get you.
You got these. So you got these white ass chips. They ain't doing nothing. They literally are just there so they can scoop other cultures into your mouth, dips, as it were. And then, you got a little flavor. You know what I mean? You got the sour cream and onion, or the cheddar and sour cream.
Sour cream is doing all the work, but that's okay.
Or
salt and vinegar.
Yeah, or there was salt and vinegar. Or there's there was a flavor, like a Ruffles flavor, that I think was very popular in Canada.
Okay.
It was just called all flavor.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It was like, no. I'm thinking of that New Orleans themed one that was like all the flavors at once. But I think it's the same concept of them being like...
It's the same, yeah, because it was just like, this is it's spicy like a barbecue sauce, but it's also sweet like a barbecue sauce with honey. But it also has a little kick to it, like, and I'm like, so
we
it's barbecue?
Squeezed some lime in here. We did all the things. It's like...
Yeah, we did all kinds of stuff.
And all y'all had was a bunch of extra shit that you were like, we got extra chips and we got extra seasoning on the thing. Just mix them together and see what happens.
See, that is why I don't necessarily buy the all something. I don't know. It's just it's kind of why I'm against the Take 5 candy bar, because I feel like it's the sweepings of the factory floor.
It's just whatever's like, it's the hot dog of candy bars, whereas all the things you couldn't put in the regular thing, you just put into this. So I have a theory. And part of the
Okay.
reason I was digging into these bags is because I noticed that the size or the amount rather that they're giving is smaller. But a part of me wonders, based on your argument, if part of the reason that they had to give us less of the flavored chips is because the content, like the nutritional content, becomes so outrageous that they're not able to justify serving it to human beings. Do you know what I mean? That like that 0.5 might be the difference in salt and fat and all the things
Oh,
that are
okay.
bad for us that make
Okay.
it so that they like technically can't sell it to a bunch of kids, right?
Or else it is instant stroke.
Exactly. Like
Okay.
there's, the FDA has regulations that are
Mm-hmm.
bullshit for the most part, but they do regulate like, oh, you can kill people, but you have to kill them slowly. And
Right.
so
So
if they
this
were
is just
making the,
walking up to the line
yes,
of hypertension.
exactly. They
Huh.
can't give you hypertension all at once because that's bad for consumerism.
That really is.
You
That's
can't
whole
kill all your
neighborhoods.
consumers.
Nope. Mm-mm. That is possible. I mean, I could see that if that's the difference between plain and saucy. I could
Mhm.
see where that might be the line. It's just like, look, man, if we gave you the full 10, I mean, all of y'all are going to be out here
Right.
just stroking out. We can't have that.
You can't handle the full 10.
Full 10.
I'm
It's
saving
not
your
gonna work.
life, you piece of shit. Give you 9.5. You should be grateful I served you 9.5.
I mean, I could that's not a bad theory. I could see that being the case.
Right.
That makes him seem like a benevolent guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I
yeah.
mean, I fully subscribe to the possibility
Yeah.
that they are. So, okay. Here's an even more jarring thing that isn't based in theory. Okay, so
Okay.
apparently in certain chips, there's something called acrylamide. Have you heard of acrylamide?
Oh no.
No. Okay, great. Acrylamide apparently is a chemical that's found on burnt chips that increases cancer risk for people. Anybody that eats it or consumes it, it apparently totally increases your chances of getting cancer. And it's the burnt chips at the bottom of the bag. And so now, following this theory, because part of what I struggled with your original theory was
Mhm.
how are they deciding that this bag with more seasoning is going to the Family Dollar, where
Right.
Shalewa would then buy it from the lady who calls it sauce.
So,
Like,
right.
how are they planning all that out? But if they are putting sauce on these acrylamide chips, these burnt chips, and then putting
Mhm.
those bags into those communities, it's a lot easier to track and separate and do the evils that they probably are doing.
This also might be where kettle chips came from.
Hell yeah, talk to me. Now
Because
you're
I
now you're
mean,
speaking it.
like the whole like to me a kettle chip is just I mean it's one of these cancer chips. It's
Mhm.
just it's burnt. It's burnt.
It's
and I know
burnt.
it's crazy burnt, and I know lots of people who prefer them. They're hard on the teeth, which is not good.
Not a fan.
Not a fan. Hard
Never
on the
been a
teeth.
fan, although the salt and vinegar is delightful, not a fan.
I can't do vinegar, but there is a salt and balsamic, a sea salt
Okay.
and balsamic vinegar that's only available in Kroger as a Kroger brand,
Hmm.
or it's like in the UK.
Yeah.
And so when I am in Atlanta and I'm near Kroger, I buy bags and bags of it. But
Sure.
it is truly like it doesn't even taste like salt; it tastes like sodium. Do you
I
know what I
got you.
mean? Like that's definitely. I feel
This is pulled from the ocean floor
yeah,
and
like
then rubbed on the chip by a mermaid.
I feel the clots forming in my leg when I eat them. But man, are they tasty! But kettle chips are kind of slowly making it to the hood.
They are.
Like
And
that.
see, that's also where my instinct went, because
Mhm.
at first I thought, oh, well, kettle chips aren't really a black chip. But if you go to
Right.
any bodega at this point
Mhm.
in New York, in corner stores in LA, there's kettle chips. Kettle
Yeah,
chips
yeah.
are available, and they are, for the most part, I don't know if I'd call them burnt, but they do feel like they've been cooked in a way that is closer to the burnt chips at the
Burnt chip,
bottom of a
right?
bag.
Yeah, because I
And
mean, you can't just go full on burnt. Like the jig is up, like we see you. But
Right.
if you come almost burnt,
Yes, exactly.
and then kettle chips have a ridiculous flavor like line. They have so many various flavors that again, I only see the full range of flavors in the hood when they are there.
Yes.
I mean, like, you know, cooking it in avocado oil isn't going to make it any healthier.
And that's the other thing. It turns out in my research, I found out kettle chips are not actually the healthiest chip by any means. They're actually one of the worst chips for you. That, like, the fact that they've been pitching them as like, oh, we don't have any of like these bad ingredients that these other chips have. True, but you also have a bunch of like shitty, like they're over seasoning.
Yep.
Like that's the main issue with them, is that they are like, putting so much salt and so much other stuff on it that it literally is evening out the quality.
Oh yeah,
of the chip.
I've eaten a half a bag of their like sea salt and cracked pepper, and can look down at my ankles and go, well, that was a mistake. I'm never getting the sneaker off. You know what I mean?
Either I got chicken pox or this was a terrible mistake.
This is no good. So, yeah.
So here's the other crazy thing about acrylamide, right? Is that even because they're not 100% sure, the FDA, all these like professionals are claiming that they're not 100% sure that acrylamide is going to give you cancer, right? But they're saying it's a possible cancer causing agent. But what they do know is that acrylamide absolutely causes nerve damage. And so what I'm thinking is they're giving us these acrylamide chips, putting them in Negro bags, selling them to Negro communities, and then damaging our taste buds, damaging our nerves, which makes us less sensitive to eating the chips, tasting the salt, ultimately leading to our hypertension, ultimately leading to our high blood pressure, ultimately
because we got to oversalt everything because of that.
And that's part of the reason.
Wow.
Because they're ruining our taste buds and then turning it into a bit like, you know, these niggas love
yeah, right.
And it's man. No, I want to live.
Oh, wow. No, I absolutely believe that, because my palate is shit now. Oh, it used to be so delicate, and now it's just like, why doesn't everything taste like instant ramen? You know? How do you cook without a flavor packet?
I don't know if you've ever done this. There have been times where I cook with instant ramen and then I actually spill some of the flavor packet. Like you don't get it all into the pot as you're cooking it. And there's a part of me that just gets so sad because I'm like, this ramen ain't gonna taste as good as the ramen is supposed to taste like.
Shake it.
I'm supposed to get sick, but now I can't get sick. Like I want to get sick because I done spilled it.
It is a sad when there's just wasted flavor. It's no good. It's no good.
I hate a wasted flavor packet. I just want all the disease.
All of it. I paid for it. I paid my 25 cents.
I paid for it. And I do think that that's a very black principle.
Yes, I paid for it. Give it all to me.
That's a very that's a black way of living. It's like, look, we get it. Some evil things are happening out here. You guys are setting us up to lose. This entire country was built with us as like the punchline to an evil joke. But come on, man, I paid for it. Give me my shit. You know what I mean? I put my money down.
You know.
Give me the thing I like.
I ain't asking for much. Just
I'm asking for ramen.
That's all I want. Yeah, it's oh my gosh. There's so much really in what you've discovered to just really like marinate in.
And so here's the other thing is that part of what I've discovered is that similar to what you were saying about the brands not necessarily being equal in every community, right? That certain communities have certain brands. There are healthy alternatives in the alternate communities, right? That in Lay's is serving us plain Lay's or barbecue Lay's or whatever version of, you know, Nicki Minaj's asshole Lay's in that neighborhood store. But then Lay's also has like a potato chip made out of like the most harmless, you know, it's cauliflower potato chips.
Oh, right.
Or
Yeah.
the
The things,
that
everything that's baked. Yeah.
Exactly.
I've not seen a baked chip in a bodega ever, really.
It never exists.
We want it all deep
And
fried.
so even if your theory isn't like 100% accurate, that they're like somehow like intentionally packing our neighborhoods with like extra flavored chips, which I still believe to
Mm-hmm.
be true. I'm not dismissing it. Don't you dare think that for a second,
will not.
Shalewa. You have my heart. But I will say that even if they're not doing that, they are intentionally giving us the worst version of all the chips that they can give us, including ones with potential cancer causing agents and fucking poisons
Oh
on them.
man. This all hurts my heart, and the only
Sure.
thing that would make me feel better would be a bag of chips like right now.
A big old bag of
Yeah, would
acrylamide,
be
please.
fantastic. Extra sauce, please.
That's the only way to make the pain go away
Right.
is a little bit of nerve damage.
Just blunt it all. Blunt it all.
Okay, we're gonna take one more break and then we'll be back with more Shalewa Sharp and more My Mama Told Me. And we are back. Yeah, we're back. I'm still here with Shalewa Sharp, and we're having a great time. We're still talking about chips and the conspiracy to murder Black people with those chips, or just make them happy. I think there's a part of Shalewa that maybe
It's a fine line. It's
just
a fine line.
wants to be happier with delicious chips, and I get that.
Yeah, if no one's going to listen to me at the hospital, let me go out with a chip I like, I guess.
When you went in to have your gallbladder degalled, I don't know
Yeah, right. Mhm.
what they do to besides like repair it.
Right.
What was there any discussion around the hostess cake that did it? Did they tell you anything about that?
No, at first, they said, "Are you sure it's not gas?" Because it could be trapped gas in your diaphragm, and I'm like, I truly don't think that's where gas stays. And I'm like, that's not. And also, I've been with me. I'm not holding on to any gas.
Sure.
Like I'm letting it all go.
You're like,
I'm
look,
not-
I got gas all the time. This ain't that. This
is
ain't that.
not- yeah. So then they were like, all right, well, if you think it's more than just indigestion and it's not the trapped gas, let's do an X-ray and see what's going on. And they did, and then they were like, oh yeah, no, you have stones. You have a stone. So let's do this in a couple of days. Let's take out whatever the stones that we see here and here.
Oh, it
and
was
so
multiple
they went in
stones.
and they were supposed to do the little, like, through my belly button and a little incision. That's all they were going to do. And then they got in there,
Oh,
they
fuck.
got the camera in there, and they were like, oh, it's free floating stones all over the place. And it's like this.
Actually,
Yeah,
this
it's like
there's a
the
meteor
bottom
shower
of an
in here,
aquarium.
and
So they just sliced me open and yanked the thing out, and I didn't know because I was under. So when I came to in recovery, I don't know what recovery normally looks like, but I know in my mind's eye, I was kind of waking up. I was groggy, and I feel like in a basement, and there was drips from the ceiling hitting like iron, and there was like a light bulb that kept flickering. That could have just been my imagination.
so they could have like harvested that. You might have had a perfectly normal gallbladder. and then they
Possibly,
were
because
like,
I did ask, I had originally asked for the stone that they were going to pull out.
yeah.
And they were like, we'll see what we can do. And then they took out the whole gallbladder, and I was like, all right, well, I'm going to need that gallbladder then. And they were like, actually, we're going to keep it, and we're going to use it for medical students to study.
Actually, we're gonna use this for a delicious new chip we're selling at Kroger
Yeah.
in a white neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a Star
It's
Crunch
called,
flavored chip.
It's called Older Lady Chips, and
It was rough. And then they still missed some stones. So I had a tube sticking out of me for 6 weeks.
Fuck me.
And I had to take medicine that was supposed to break up the stone and make it go out of the tube. And then when I went in to have the tube taken out, they were like, there are still stones in you, so we're just going to put you under and try and find those.
Wow.
So as far as I know, I may have a stone lodged under something. Yeah, it was, at first they really did think it was trapped gas.
That is wild.
Yeah.
So after all that, you don't know where your stones are. You know you don't have a gallbladder anymore, but you don't know if they might have harvested some other organs for their own pleasures.
Yeah.
This is wild.
I've made a point to truly destroy the organs that I have left. You're not getting me again.
Trick me once, shame on me.
If you go with me, there's nothing.
Steal my organs twice.
Yeah.
Well then, shit.
I have burned the ground and salted the earth. We are not, there's nothing in here.
Shit, this might be systemic. I'm gonna stop letting y'all do that. That's fun. All right. I'd love to play a game with you if you're down for it. We have
absolutely
a very fun game that I love to play. It's a game that I call White Lies.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Give me $200.
It's a fun game called White Lies, where you, the contestant, are going to be read a traditional white conspiracy theory, one that white people have subscribed to for years.
Okay.
And then you will then use that conspiracy theory and think about why it is so important to white people. Why do they keep going with this one? What are they trying to accomplish? What are these sneaky motherfuckers up to?
All right.
You get the premise?
Yes.
We're clear on the whole thing? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. This came up today, and it's very exciting. Today on my Twitter feed, amongst all the murder and mayhem of young black people all across America, there also was trending a rediscovery of the Loch Ness Monster, that someone had taken a picture of Nessie's back, or supposedly Nessie's back, and then posted it. And now there's a giant debate happening about whether or not this is in fact the new Loch Ness Monster or the old Loch Ness Monster.
Okay.
My question for you is, why is the Loch Ness Monster so important to white people?
I mean, okay, let's consider the scapegoat. If I'm not mistaken, the scapegoat was the goat of a village that everyone blamed for everything.
Oh, the chupacabra.
Yeah, well, just in olden times, I think it was
the
an
literal
actual
scapegoat.
goat, the literal scapegoat.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, I believe that folklore is that it was a goat that took on the blame, just all of the excuses for everybody in a village, all the bad things they've done. They blamed it on the goat, or they put it on the goat.
Holy shit, I had no idea. This is worth celebrating.
That's called motherfucking bars, nigga. You know nothing about that.
Hell yeah. Tell me more, Jalewa. You spit knowledge.
Yeah, so that's what we're working with here. I'm thinking right now, white people are scrambling. Do you know what I mean? Like it is finals week, and they have not done any of the readings. They barely went to class. Like it is it.
Sure.
And
this is very much finals week, because it's both of those things. It's some of them are scrambling to make up for the homework that they did not finish.
Right.
And a bunch of them are scrambling to find other classmates who they could be like, let's rebel against the teacher.
Yes.
He's been an asshole this whole time. Let's just tell him he's a cunt, and then maybe the university will fire him, and we don't have to study it all.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening. So right now, I think white people are realizing, like, oh shit, like, we got to do something. What are our go-tos? And their go-tos are falling. You know what I mean? Like their whole heritage argument is not working. Like we're taking those bad boys down. We're taking all of them down. Like
it's a nigga named Bubba driving their cars now.
I mean, this is
big bad.
It's nothing they've ever seen, or they don't know what to do with it. They need who's an old school something that can, all right, Nessie.
Yes.
Let's bring this bitch back.
Hell yeah.
Let's we'll say she got a little work done. You know what I mean? She probably, you know what I mean? Got a little lap band, lost a little weight, a little sexier.
Nessie got lip injections.
Yeah.
But she's back. She
She's
looked
back.
different.
She looks
She's
looks
a
different.
little more 2014 Khloe Kardashian
right, yeah.
than current Khloe Kardashian.
But she definitely is Kardashian-ish.
is technically the same human being if you look at the genetic material.
Right. Yes. I mean, if you were to take a blood test of Nessie, I think that's what you're going to find.
Yeah.
A Kardashian. But yeah, and I think that's probably why it's so important to him right now. Like, this is it. Do you know what I mean? Like, the alien shit didn't work. They opened up fucking, what was that, Area 51? Like, all of that.
They called on every possibility they had.
Everything.
They literally told us aliens are real, and we were still like, yeah, bro, but please stop choking me.
Right,
and
exactly.
They were like, okay, but there's a monster in the lake.
Yeah, that's where we are right now.
You keep talking about dying, but there's a monster in the lake. And we're like, yeah, but I can't breathe, man.
Yeah, they're not. It's all that's left, and it's a thing that appears tangible and easy to doctor photos, but they're just in like the copy room, just trying to make copies of this. Look, this is going on, and it's like, it's too late. We've
You
already
can't keep doing the Nessie thing.
Yeah, it's
and nobody
not gonna
gives
work.
a fuck. If
no one
I
truly
don't
gives a
care.
fuck. Yeah.
I truly could not care less. And the reality is that if the Loch Ness monster is in fact a real thing, and I don't care either way if he or she is a real thing.
Right.
I'm not sure that the Loch Ness monster needs to be gendered. I gotta grow the fuck up and really do my own research.
No,
but the
that's
point
true.
is, even if the Loch Ness monster is real, it does not, like you say, scapegoat the bigger problems that are happening in our own communities.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
We can't have Nessie like answering for. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
That's not going to be the thing. Like, well, all right. I mean, their monster did reappear again, so maybe they do have some things to worry. No, that's not. It's not going to be enough. Nessie herself might actually show up and just be like, you know what? I've been reading, and
sure. I honestly, guys, I've been listening for a while now.
Yeah.
I actually think Black lives do matter, and that doesn't mean that white lives don't matter, but I think at this time they just need to be heard and seen as real people and people with value. So maybe just allow them to have this, and then everybody will call.
I mean, are we sure we really want Nessie to talk? Like, do white folks, are they ready for what Nessie might have to say?
I'm scared Nessie's gonna come out and be like a homophobe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no. I mean, we all have blind spots. We all have blind spots.
Nessie's pretty old. There's no way Nessie's on the progressive side of.
I mean,
Nessie's like, look, black people, white people, you guys should all live equally, but boys shouldn't kiss boys, and that's just something I felt for hundreds of years.
I wouldn't put that past Nessie for sure. I mean, like, she's it. I feel like it. Like, it's definitely. It's not going to be as open-minded as you want, but
no,
it's been around long.
Nothing
enough.
older, nothing that old is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, my grandpa is a wonderful gentleman. He's 95 years old. He's doing the best he can, and boy, is he hard to get into certain angles of conversations with, despite the fact that, like, he's even talking to his black grandson. Buddy, some of these are, it's just tough angles that we shouldn't talk about, like, because we're not going to see eye to eye. This is not a good balance for us. Let's just agree to eat, gefilte fish together and sit quietly in front of a Ken Burns documentary.
Right, exactly. We may be asking too much of Nessie right now. I feel like white people are definitely like, look, you're our only hope.
Yes.
I don't know what's left to discover on the planet at this point.
Exactly.
Like, if we didn't buy the aliens and UFOs, and all you had, like, your last card, your ace in the hole was Nessie, like.
Nessie, black people never cared about Nessie. That wasn't her thing.
You totally misread every possible situation you could misread.
Read the room. This isn't our bit. This is much more y'all. And we don't give a fuck if Nessie's here. She can come to the barbecue or she can't. We don't care.
Right, exactly.
Wow. I think we did it. I think we cracked
Yeah.
it wide open. Shalewa, this was phenomenal.
This was a
I want
lot
to
of
thank you
fun.
so much for coming and hanging out with me. What a fun time. And I think that we really learned a lot about the world of chips
Yeah.
and the potential threat that they have in the Black community.
Yeah, keep fighting, y'all. Keep fighting.
Could you tell everyone where they can find you on the internet or
Oh,
any
sure.
cool shit that you have going on? Feel free to
Um,
plug anything that matters to you.
I'm on, all of the social media things that I can possibly handle. The important ones, your Twitter, your Instagram, your Venmo. And I'm at Silky Jumbo on all of it, and that's all one word, traditional spelling. Actually, I have an album called "So You Just Out Here." Listen
Great
to
album.
that.
I love
it. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
And
I love both your albums, but
I truly appreciate it.
yeah, they're really
Oh.
good.
Yeah, I listen to your album all the time.
Oh,
All the time.
don't do this,
No, I
please.
swear to you. I swear. Don't make me quote it. Don't make me quote it. I'm not gonna quote it. I'm too old, baby. My
Yeah,
brain is.
please don't.
Yeah, I'm already drinking chamomile tea. That's where I am. With benefiber in it, because
Oh,
yeah.
so we're getting high, y'all.
Yeah, I'm getting fucked up. But yeah, just look for me there. I'm cracking jokes or making, half-hearted thirst trap attempts. No one's buying. No one's
Love
buying. It's great.
Hell
It's
yeah.
nothing but my girlfriend's going, nice, good for you. Like, all
You
right.
tried it.
Yeah. So.
It's the effort that counts. It's like, all right, all right. This doesn't feel like a compliment.
No, I can't blow effort. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, she can't blow effort. One more time for Shalewa Sharp, everybody. Wow. This has been another episode of My Mama Told Me. Thank you guys. Good night.